Okay, so let's talk about Ari Aster's new film, Beau is Afraid. We are getting the trailer for this tomorrow, but we go ahead and talk about the movie right now with everything we know so far. So we have been anticipating this movie for a while now, and apparently there was like a really long cut. I feel like it was like 4 hours or something people were saying, and now we know that this movie is going to be coming out. I think in sometime in April 28th, 2023. That's what I'm reading right here, and we are excited for this movie. So before we get into it, we want to go ahead and ask you to go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers, less than 3,000 to go to get to that, and we are super pumped for this. So Ari Aster's Beau is Afraid is a movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and that was such a big thing when we first heard about this casting. Joaquin Phoenix, Ari Aster, of course, doing Hereditary, Midsommar, and some other shorts. Which one of the shorts is actually that he did in the past called Beau, and I think it was like Beau is Afraid as well, or something like that. And I do want to talk about that short as well here because I feel like there's some connection to that with this movie and also that short, which was on YouTube for a while and then it got taken down. Caught it a long time ago when it was on YouTube when I was first hearing about Ari Aster coming out with Hereditary. Saw that and the Johnsons, and yeah, we know how the Johnsons go. I still want to do an update video on that because I recently rewatched it after watching it many years ago and doing a video on it, and I do want to update some thoughts and everything on it because I got some thoughts about it. So Joaquin Phoenix is starring in this movie as Beau, and very much so this is the premise. Beau is Afraid is described as a decade-spanning surrealist horror film set in an alternate present in which Phoenix plays an extremely anxious but pleasant-looking man who has a fraught relationship with his overbearing mother and never knew his father. When his mother dies, he makes a journey that involves some supernatural threats. So this is very much so feeling like it's a man just very much so dealing with all of this like anxiety, dealing with trying to overcome, I feel like, past trauma. And that's exactly what Ari Aster always gives us, right? He always gives us these like trauma dump movies, which I do definitely appreciate. I think he does the family drama very well, and he actually has a short called Beau, which starred Billy Mayo, who is in this, as well as Will Emery. And I was excited about this short when I watched it. I thought it was very interesting, the way he played with anxiety in this short. I don't know if you can find this anymore. It used to be on YouTube a long time ago. Like I saw this like years and years and years ago, back when Hereditary was first announced, because I was like, Ari Aster, who is this man doing Hereditary? Which I was excited for when I first heard about Hereditary because I was already coming up with A24, watching some of their films, and I was excited to see what A24 was giving us. So when I first heard about that, I was like, all right, I gotta definitely check out what this movie's gonna be. So Billy Mayo is also in the Johnsons movie, which I think is one of the very much so viral horror shorts out there. You always see it pop up once a year, I feel, at least on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, or YouTube, with people saying this is the movie you shouldn't watch, don't watch it, or you make it as a challenge with people to watch. So Billy Mayo is in that, and also in Beau, and I feel like a lot of what Ari Aster has done in his recent movies definitely stem back to those shorts he did, and I think that Billy Mayo deserves a lot more credit as well for being in those shorts and everything that he did for Ari's career in the beginning. So, Beau is Afraid. If the short is any indication, in the short, you just follow this man going through these very surrealist moments in his apartment. He feels like somebody has broken into his apartment at some point as well, and he's always calling up his mother. And it sort of feels like he is sort of having these moments of like an anxiety attack, panic setting in, and it feels like there's something traumatic that happened to him, but it's never really fully explored or talked about. It's just sort of implied that he sort of has felt this way for some time now, and he is trying to figure out what exactly is going on, and by the end of it he doesn't really figure out much. Ari's also in the Beau short at a point as this like really crazy guy that's walking down the hallway, and so I really do wonder how much of this Beau is Afraid is going to deal with that, with a man who is played by Joaquin, of course, Beau, dealing with having to sort of climb up this ladder of sorts in whatever world he is an entrepreneur for, and sort of having these feelings of anxiety, of wondering what exactly do I do next, and at the same time coming from a relationship with his mother, if she is an overbearing mother, as the premise says, maybe he sort of has this doubt that grows in him every time he's trying to do something, and it sort of feels that he has to always like check up on with her and everything that he's doing in order to feel that he's doing things right, you know? Like he could have been hindered from this relationship itself. And the poster is very interesting as well because we see different moments of this man's life. So we see a young child, we see a man, an older man, and a very old man at the same time. My question that I do wonder is if all of these men that are in this poster are existing all at the same time, and they're sort of going back and forth with one another and sort of having this little like generational thing with yourself. Because I think that's something that you really think about as you grow older, is you think about a, like if you're like in your 40s, you think about your 30-year-old self, 20-year-old self, and maybe teenage self, how they would interact with one another. You know that there would be a lot of back and forths, not agreeing with a lot of things that you do, choices and all of that, maybe getting mad at a younger self for a choice that they made that now has impacted the state you are in as well, or sort of having these regrets and everything. So I definitely see this movie going into that world of regret and sort of this whole thing as well with family sort of maybe taking advantage of you at certain points, vulnerability, all of that. That's definitely what I see when I think about this movie, and it definitely has me excited to see how it's going to take place. I mean, surrealist, Ari Aster, Joaquin Phoenix, A24. Sounds like a perfect combination. I'm there on April 28th to check this out, and April's just looking like a great month. This whole year, every month just has some pretty good movies, and this is one of my most anticipated of the year for sure. So I'm super excited to check this out once we get closer to it, and we'll definitely be talking more once that trailer comes out tomorrow. But I just wanted to give some quick input on this movie, let you know that there was a short called Beau as well, which I feel like has some connection to this movie. Maybe there was something that he wanted to expand in that short that he couldn't. Short came out like 12 years ago, so there's definitely a lot. I feel like he has grown himself, and want to give Billy Mayo some very much needed like appreciation for what he's done. And as somebody that really enjoyed seeing him in Beau, would have been great to see him in Beau is Afraid. Sadly, though, Billy Mayo has passed away, so really hope that we do get some appreciation for him after this, and the short as well being put out there as well, because I think it is just something that is deserving. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on Beau is Afraid. We'll talk about the trailer tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But as always, that is going to do it for me. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Make sure you are following us on social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And check out our Indiegogo. We are still trying to fund our horror movie. Really would appreciate any help is appreciated. And as always, 30,000 subscribers, less than 3,000 to go. Can we get there? I think we can. As always, stay safe, stay positive.